I just bought the world's first electric super truck, and today in this video we're going to be going over all the features as well as the things I do love and the things I don't like so much about it. Let's get started. So let's get started with the outside of the vehicle. Now the thing that I do love about this truck is that it looks mean. It is like gotta be one of the best looking trucks on the road by far nowadays. Obviously it's entirely electric. It has massive 35-inch tires, and the shocks in there, you can get the 6 inches of raise out of the extract mode for rock climbing and things like that. However, you are limited by only going about 12 miles an hour in that mode. Now, there's a lot of little things about this vehicle that are really nice touches. For instance, the Hummer EV badge, and there's a lot of little different Hummer H's and things like that throughout the vehicle. One of the cool things I love is the American flag up here. Obviously, this wasn't built too far from me in Michigan, and the American flag I think is a really nice touch. So as we move to the back, we've got the charging port here, and that's where we can keep this charged. The Hummer comes with 2 different chargers. It comes with a high-powered charger that will charge at about 15 miles per hour. And then it comes with a standard 120 volt charger, which doesn't do much, but it's about 1 mile per hour. If you're not driving it much, then you can definitely use that. Now, one of the other things that I love is these massive tow hooks on the front and the back, and that is just, it's nice looking, but it also is functional for being able to get the vehicle out of certain situations. This tailgate is their multi-pro tailgate, so you can drop down just the center here, and you can store longer goods in the bed of the truck, or you can drop down the entire thing, and then you can drop down the smaller part here and add a step. So you can have the step there, or you can close that up and you've got a stop gate for longer goods in the bed of the truck. So one feature that I did add to this truck is the power tonneau, and I believe it's about $2,500 option, which is expensive, but it's a dealer installed option, and it's just really nice for keeping things dry in the bed of the truck and not having to fool around with a manual tonneau cover. Now in the bed of the truck with the tailgate down and the step in place, we can easily get into there with this nice little handle and reach up here and grab this and get into the bed of the truck. Now there is plenty of lighting in here, and we've got the sprayed in bed liner. We've also got a 120 volt plug on the back for charging or plugging in whatever you need to. The one thing that this Hummer is missing, in my opinion, and I wish it did have, was a way to plug your house into the Hummer, a high voltage outlet to be able to run your home or run some of the essentials in the case of a power outage, especially when you've got a massive battery pack like this one. I just feel like it's a missed opportunity. Now, one of the options that I was kind of on the fence about and I ended up not going with was the option for the kicker speakers mounted in the tailgate here. They're Bluetooth connectivity, and I thought that would be a great feature for anybody who's into tailgating and just having some music on while you're partying near the back of the truck. One thing that I love about the truck, I have a love-hate relationship with, I'll say that, is the body lines. Now you've got these big fenders here that kind of cover up the tops of the tires, and then they go in. However, the problem with that is you can see all of this exposed tire on front and back, and anytime you're going down a dirt road or any muddy areas, this pulls up all of the dirt and sprays it all over the side of the truck, which is kind of a bummer when you've got a really nice brand new white truck. Another really, really cool feature about this truck is the infinity roof. And what that means is basically each of these panels on all 4 seat locations, you can remove those panels by simply pulling on these 2 latches and then taking it out like this, which makes the Hummer EV the first EV convertible. So one of the other huge advantages of an EV is that there is no internal combustion engine, which means all of this hood space is now frunk space, or front trunk, or I think they call it e-trunk. Anyway, so we've got plenty of storage in here. It's got a weatherproof seal, and it fits all of those 4 panels that come off the top perfectly in here, so you can transport them when you have them off. So this is a great space to be able to store things. If you're not storing those panels, you can store luggage up here, no problem. It is weatherproof. A couple of the features that are missing from this front trunk that I would have loved to have seen would have been a drain in case you had a cooler or something tip over, some water, being able to drain that out would be nice. But also, why not put an outlet up here? Being able to charge things in the front truck, I think, is essential. Only having the one outlet in the back is a little bit limiting in my opinion. So when it comes to the inside of the Hummer, I really enjoy it, honestly. The screens are great, having these massive screens up in front of you. A lot of the different controls are readily accessible. They've got a lot of the actual physical buttons, which are nice to have. The gear selector is substantial and it just feels great. Then we've got the mode selector down here where you can rotate these over and it will change the modes that you're in from, we've got my mode, which you can customize. Then you've got the off-road mode, you've got terrain mode, you've got a tow haul mode, which he's towing a rocket. That's pretty cool. So other than the modes, you've got, you know, your display in front of you. This thing's got Super Cruise, which is really nice to have. So the other cool thing about this vehicle is there is a ton of cameras. I believe there's like 18 different cameras. You've got the top-down view, and then you've got the, I don't know how they get that view. That must be from up there. You've got your rear view, or actually those are coming from the back. Man, I haven't even seen some of these, but this one is great for being able to hook up a trailer to the back. And then we've also got, which is very cool, is you've got your back camera and then your under body camera. So there's two cameras under, and then you can flip to just that is, I believe, facing forward, and then that one is facing back. And then these cameras are obviously going to get dirty, so I can hit this little button right here, and it gets it nice and clean for you. All right, so now for the fun part, I get to show you some of the modes that are, in my opinion, the best features of this truck. One is the fact that the rear wheels turn independently. They turn, when you're in normal driving mode, they turn opposite of the front tires. That way you can make a super tight turning radius. But you can also flip that into what they call crab walk mode, which is where the rear tires will turn the same direction as the front tires up to a certain degree, and that can allow the vehicle to go diagonally. So the super tight turning radius is exceptional, and that is one of my favorite parts of this vehicle, is being able to turn this massive truck around in a super tight spot. Now, the crab walk thing is fun. I think it's more of a novelty. But whatever, that's like a software thing. It's no big deal. The back tires are turning the opposite way. I think people get hung up on the crab walk thing, but again, it's just a software thing, setting within the truck. So having the wheels turn and giving you that super tight turning radius, that's the real main selling point to me. Now, we're gonna move on from that and we're gonna go into watts to freedom mode. Now you turn the watts to freedom mode on by double tapping the traction control button. And what that does is it lowers the truck, kind of stiffens the suspension, and it also allows the full, I think it does like some extra cooling to the battery pack, but it also unleashes the full 1,000 horsepower or equivalent of that in the vehicle or in the battery pack. So we're going to get the full torque out of this vehicle, and you just have to see it. Okay, so watts to freedom mode, this is kind of neat technology wise. So it's in standby now and it's armed now. So it's telling me to brake harder and then floor it. And what the system does is it actually calculates how much torque you can apply without the wheels slipping. And then you release the brake and we go. Oh God, that is just so cool. That literally never gets old. It is still amazing to me that you can take a 9,000 pound vehicle and accelerate from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. It is insane. I wouldn't want to drive this thing at super high speeds, but going from 0 to 60, that's just good old fun. So the other cool thing about watts to freedom mode is that not only does it lower and adjust the suspension and all that stuff, but it also kind of vibrates the seat a little bit, and then it pipes in some audio that really makes you feel like you are a rocket taking off. So this is extract mode, and like I said before, this raises 6 inches above the standard ride height, and I'm standing beside it to kind of give you a little bit of a scale to realize how tall this vehicle is. For instance, when you go in, you really gotta like grab this handle and step up in here to pull yourself in. So this thing is jacked up like a monster truck, in my opinion. However, you can only go about 12 miles an hour when you're in this mode, and it's in terrain mode, so it does things like the auto braking when you let off the gas, and it's perfect for rock crawling and things like that. So fun mode, however, I probably don't get to use it all that often. So overall, I absolutely love this vehicle. It is incredibly fun to drive. The super tight turning radius is at the top of my list for features, as well as just the insane amount of torque that an EV has. You get 12,000 pounds of torque on the watts to freedom mode, and you can literally go as fast as you want, whenever you want to in this thing. However, I feel like this vehicle is missing a few key features that I would have liked to have seen. One of those is the utility that I've had in my Avalanche as well as my Cadillac Escalade EXT, which I still have because I love this feature. And that feature is the midgate, and that allows the back seat to fold down and you to extend your bed into your back seat, giving you about 8 feet. I can fit a full sheet of plywood in there and put the tailgate up, keeping it completely sealed. Now, I know the reason that they didn't do this was that they needed the back window to roll down, which does combine really nicely with the infinity roof. However, that along with the outlet in the front trunk, I feel like would have been a nice addition, as well as the high voltage port to be able to plug your house into this massive battery pack when you're having a power outage or something of that sort. Now, I know it feels like I'm ragging on this vehicle with those few small things. However, this is honestly a super truck, and it has to be the most fun vehicle I've ever driven. And overall, it's gotta be one of the best trucks on the planet current time. I'm excited to see what more EVs come out, including the new GMC Sierra, which I've been looking pretty closely at that as well, because it does have the midgate. So until next time, be safe and enjoy life. And we go. Oh God. That is just so cool.